Hey Rock Buds, Rock Papa here. Hope you guys are doing good wherever you are. Seems like it might be getting a little cooler here in mid-August. And I hope you guys are staying cool. Today I want to talk about silicification. That's a strange word. It's the process by which silica gets into all kinds of things. We'll talk about how that silica gets dissolved in water, where it goes and what it does, and the usually excellent results, useful results. So stay tuned. Hope this video is useful. If so, please subscribe. Thanks a million to all you wonderful guys out there, and gals too, wherever you are. I'm so appreciative of you guys, and I remember you always. Anyhow, so here we go. Here, I'll try it again. Silicification. Silicification is the process where silica-rich water is added to or replaces minerals in rocks, or replaces cell material in plants or animals. Hey Rock Buds, as you know, silica is quartz, which is silicon dioxide. And when we're talking about silicification, we're talking about microscopic crystals of quartz. And that's called cryptocrystalline quartz. And that kind of makes sense because it would take microscopic quartz to replace the cell structures in plants and animals. Here is where a lot of that quartz comes from. After iron-containing compounds, feldspar is the most abundant mineral on Earth, and it has silica in it. Also, quartz, which is the next most abundant mineral on Earth. And as you know, it's found in just about every kind of rock type, including mafic rocks. So let's look at some examples of silicification. A beautiful mountain stream, and water has been cascading down this stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for perhaps millions of years. The rocks are silica rich, and over time the water picks up very tiny particles of the silica, taking them down to the sea. Here's silica from sand suspended or dissolved in water. This includes particles of microscopic size. Now let's picture a shallow, warm, foreland basin sea formed as a volcanic island arc or a continent approaches the mainland. In this funky drawing, silica-rich water flows into a shallow foreland basin sea where limestone has developed on the bottom. Those funky little black zigzags represent cracks and pockets in the limestone. All that silica in the water stimulates the growth of creatures that use silica in their shells, like microscopic diatoms and radiolarians, as well as sponges. Over time, microscopic silica penetrates into the limestone, forming chert nodules in the limestone. And as you know, chert is microscopic or cryptocrystalline quartz. Chert can be all kinds of colors depending on how much iron or other elements are mixed into it. And here are some colorful chert samples for your viewing enjoyment. When chert is gray or black, they usually call it flint, but it's just cryptocrystalline quartz. Here's a picture of a Neolithic chert mine in limestone. Paleolithic, Neolithic, and even Bronze Age peoples used chert extensively in their lives. Sometimes silica is so abundant that it actually replaces most of the calcium carbonate in limestone, as is the case with these Mississippian period St. Louis limestone samples, which you have seen before. And that brings us to fossils. Fossils are created when silica-rich water penetrates the tissues of a plant or animal and literally replaces them, copying them very faithfully in silica. Of course, the plant or animal remains have to be covered and preserved long enough for this replacement to take place, and this could take thousands and thousands, even millions of years, and eventually the organic material goes away and you've got a silica fossil. Now let's look at yet another form of silicification called bedded chert. This picture shows the deep part of the Alleghanian orogeny foreland basin. This is the part that's deep because it's very close to where the Proto-African continent is pushing down on the Proto-North American continent. Limestone formed down here earlier when this part of the basin was much shallower and warmer, but now it's gone deep and the water is cold. Limestone can't form in cold water, but silica-rich creatures like diatoms, radiolarians, sponges, and other creatures can form. So you get layers of silica-rich mud forming on the bottom. And this creates mud and chert layers called bedded chert. And here is the Fort Payne bedded chert formation, laid down in earliest Mississippian period time in the way just described. And here are some hand samples of Fort Payne Formation bedded chert. Chert nodules do form in this silica-rich bedded chert, and that created a lot of chert nodules that Eastern Indians used to make all kinds of spear points and arrow points. Hey rock buds, now let's take a look at Agates. Here's a thick layer of vesicular basalt. As the basaltic magma rises, the pressure comes off of the gas bubbles that are in it, and so those gas bubbles expand, creating these pockmarks in the basalt. Over long-term silica-rich fluids, usually hot from volcanic activity, fill these cavities, forming beautiful agates. This is called chalcedony. It's just another beautiful example of silicification. Now picture an ancient sandy beach next to the sea at the edge of a huge sand dune field, similar to, let's say, the Navajo sandstone formation out in the Colorado Plateau. High winds blow tiny, teeny sand particles way out into the ocean, where they get suspended in the water. This profile of the edge of a continent shows the relatively shallow continental shelf and the steep continental slope that leads down to the very deep ocean bottom. Microscopic particles of silica fall down and settle down on the bottom, forming layers of chert. The layers build up one on top of the other until an orogeny folds them and shoves them up on land as ribbon chert. Grammy and I found a lot of ribbon chert in the California Coast Range and in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California, because that's where a lot of ocean crust has been pushed up on land fairly recently, geologically speaking, by multiple orogenies. Now we go to the Petrified Forest National Park in Arizona. It is a desert today, but it hasn't always looked like this. During the Triassic period, which lasted from about 250 million years ago to 200 million years ago, it was lush forest with semi-tropical rivers flowing through it. Then the Sonoma microcontinent began to crash against the west coast, erupting out billions of metric tons of silica-rich ash. Winds blew the ash onto these beautiful Triassic forests, covering them up. And here are some of those silica-rich ash piles. All those beautiful colors represent elements that will get into the future petrified wood. Over millions of years, water picked up the silica in microscopic form and replaced the cells of these trees that were knocked down by the ashfall, which had completely buried them. Later, the wood in the trees rotted away, leaving the beautiful petrified logs. Grammy and I went out there and toured the park, 45 years ago, and we found that even the lizards and the grasshoppers had colors in them just like the wood. And can you guess who this is? Right, that's the young and lovely Grammy standing by a giant log of petrified wood. What a cutie pie. Here's a quartz vein running through a rock, and yes, this is even another example of silicification. Often silica-laden water flowing through volcanic areas picks up super valuable metals like gold, silver, copper, etc., depositing them in big quartz veins that miners drool over. Okie dokie, rock buds, that's it for silicification. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. And this is your Rock Papa saying, happy rock hunting. Papa out.